lot of kids are basically on their own. They're raising themselves. They're often without sufficient food even. Nationally, 30% of all kids are unsupervised in the afternoon. We don't have exact numbers here in the El Cajones County area, but I would imagine it would be well over 50, perhaps 60% of kids that have no supervision. What kids think they need is fun, a place to be. So we developed Youth Venture to be a fun place to be. And so kids come, they love it. They come for the games, but they stay for the relationships. One of our goals is to get young people to sit down with an adult and talk about life. And so we've developed some award-winning courses in which a child sits down with an adult and goes through that one-on-one and really goes through the basic issues of life. And many of these kids have never talked with an adult about just the basic issues of who am I, what's life about, where am I going, what's right, what's wrong. If you were to really want to understand Youth Venture, you'd have to meet some of these kids and you'd have to hear their stories.
You're just walking by here. You see video games and it's like a kid's dream. For me, it's like my second home. It's just like a safe zone because there's people that come here that are really involved with Christ, and they are just a positive effect on the certain kids who just have a hard time at home. I've just made the choice to live my life for God, and I hope that someday Youth Ventures will open when I'm older so that I could be one of those adults that helps kids.
I've pretty much been on my own my whole life. My mom would just go around places and she'd just leave me at her friend's house. She wouldn't come back for like 2 weeks, and my brother would have to go steal food to keep us from being hungry and everything. At the end of my 6th year, like she said she was moving to Ohio, and she just left me somewhere like to kind of die. But like my dad came and got me. The bad thing about my dad coming to get me is my dad's a drunk. Like my dad loves me and everything, but he just doesn't care enough to stop drinking. Now it's just to the point where he's like, oh, well, my son can take care of himself now, he's 15, so I'm gonna keep drinking. Like I just get so mad at times. Like I used to punch holes in my door. Went through 3 doors in about 2 months one time, and it was just bad. My dad would come home and he'd get mad at me and hit me, then I'd hit the door, then he'd hit me, then I hit the door. But then like I started going to Youth Venture more, kind of get away from everything. I thought it was a really cool place. Neil loved on me like as my mentor, and then he showed me how great God is. Like I never knew about God. God's done so much work in my life, and just God's been so amazing.
I was 12 years old. I lived in El Cajon on Bradley Street. Just a couple kids right there in that neighborhood. I had talked about Youth Venture, saying, hey, you want to go play pool? You know. So when I first heard about Youth Venture, I thought, oh, I don't have any money, you know, can't go there. And I just found out it was free, you know. It got my attention. I went there, you know, started going there, you know, playing pool, playing video games. Yeah, that created the opportunity for them to talk to us about Jesus, and I gave them the runaround, bro. You know, the adults we were patient, you know, and we were getting the gospel preached to us. We were learning God's ways, but it wasn't entirely being practiced, but it got deposited, and that was important, you know. And I didn't value Youth Venture. I didn't value the people. I didn't value what they were doing for me. And then a few years go by, and now I'm 17, broken. Yeah. The emptiness of the world set in. I went to church. I went back to Foothills. One time, I hadn't been in church for 4 years. That one time, lifted my hands to the Lord in worship that day, and felt an identity, felt home, felt heaven, and felt reminded of what was offered to me when I was younger at Youth Venture. Right away knew what to do with my life, and just at that point gave my life to the Lord. Not only did Youth Venture get me, it got my parents, it got my whole family. They have absolutely been radically changed by the gospel of Jesus, man.